Hi, third grade. Today is part 2 of 4.7's activity. Yesterday we did some addition problems and we used the show all totals method. Today we are going to draw proof drawings and also add either using new groups above or new groups below. This is your assignment from 229. We're just going to look at this as an example, and then I'm going to do 2 more examples from page 230 before you do your work. So if you don't have your workbook, it would be super great if you could go get it and have it ready on page 229 and 230. If you need to pause me, you can feel free to do that. Okay, so we're going to go back to this problem that we looked at yesterday with the show all totals, except for today I'm going to show you the proof drawing they've made, and we're going to make some. So when you draw a proof drawing, you've already used that idea that we used last week about making the place value drawings using the boxes for hundreds, the sticks for the tens, and the dots for the ones. And so in this problem, Tanya and Mark collected seashells. Tanya had 249 seashells and Mark had 386 shells. How many shells do they have in all? So they used those numbers that they had here and they put them in proof drawings. So for 249, that's 200, they drew 2 of these hundreds. And then they did 4 tens, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 9 shells, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I can tell that those are the 9 there because they left a space there. And then they added 386 in a drawing. So here's your 300, 1, 2, 3. And then 86, so 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. There's your 80. And then they had 6 more, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I like how they spaced them out so you can see them really easily from a distance. When Mrs. Harrison is grading your proof drawings, it's really helpful if you do that in a way that I can see that that's 5 and 3 and that that's 5 and 1. It's really helpful, just a hint. So then we want to find out what the grand total is. So when they do that, well, we have a whole lot of little ones here, and we know that that's too much to fit in that place value. So they put this box around, here's the 9, and then they took a 10th one. And that left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by themselves. And then they took, here's all these 10s, that's way too many 10s, that doesn't fit there. So they went ahead and grouped 10 10s because we know 10 10s is 100 and put a square around that. So here was 8, 9, 10, and put that box around, so that's 100. And here's 1 10, 2 10s, but we also know that we have this one over here. So I'm going to put a little arrow. He's also a 10. So that gives us 1, 2, and then that guy, which is 3 10s. And then we count up how many hundreds we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hundreds. And then this one is also 100. I'm going to put a little arrow to him too. So that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then there's our 6. So our total is 635. Which, if we were doing the new groups above method, which is the one you are most convenient, you guys are most knowledgeable about. So the 9 plus the 6 equals 15, then they regroup the 1 at the top. Then 1 plus 4 is 5, 5 plus 8 is 13, 3, you have 13 10s, you need to regroup 10 of those 10s as 100, 1, then plus 2 is 3, 3 is 6, 635, matches here. This is called new groups below method. It's the same exact thing except for instead of putting the 1 at the top, you put it below and add it in at the end. So 9 plus 6 equals 15, and then here they added the 1, so that's 15. 4 plus 8 is 12, plus another one makes it 13, and then instead of putting it there, they put it right there. So that's 2 plus 3 is 5, plus 1 more is 6, 635. So if you notice, we have all of these separate ways, separate tools to come up with that possible final answer. All right, so today we're going to focus on the proof drawings. And so I'm going to do number 5 and 6 on page 230. So go ahead and turn to 230 and do this with me. I'm going to do it kind of slow so you can catch up, but you can always hit pause if you need to. Okay? All right, so I'm going to start. I am going to do it the traditional way with the groups above or groups below, but I just wanted to go ahead and stop and do the proof drawing first. So the video store has 445 comedy videos and 615 drama videos. How many comedy and drama videos does the school have altogether? Well, we know that that must be an addition problem because they want to know both numbers together. So first I'm going to start with 445. So I'm going to give myself some space here. So I'm going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4 hundreds. So that's what you're drawing. 1, 2, 3, 4 hundreds. And then we have 45. So 4 tens. 4 is in the tens place. And then 5. And so we need to make those, they don't have to be huge circles by any means, but they need to be bigger than a dot that Mrs. Harrison can't see from, away in the distance. So that's 445. Double check that that does indeed match that one. The next one is 615. So I'm going to draw 600. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I'm going to draw 110. And then 5 more ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to let you catch up a little bit there. Okay, so this is where we're doing the actual coming up with the answer when we add those together. So this is where there's going to be that grouping together. So when we look here at the ones, we need to see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, we can't leave those 10 ones in that form. So we're going to put a box around it. And I'm going to put that arrow, that's going to go over there. So how many are left over when we add that 5 and that 5? There are 0. So I'm going to put that 0 right here. Okay. And now I'm going to go ahead and add up my tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tens. That's not more than 10 tens, so I can just leave that as a 5. And then I need, this is a good one. So now I have lots of hundreds, don't I? So let's count them up and see how many I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 hundreds. What does 10 hundreds? If there's a group of 10, we're going to put a box around it. And that actually goes to the next thing. So I have 0 hundreds left over. And then what do those 10 hundreds become? They become 1,000. So I'm going to put 1,000. I'm going to run off the room. But that would be if we had one of those really long rectangles, right? So here's my answer according to my proof drawing, 1,050. Okay, so now I'm going to try it over here to make sure that's correct. 445, 615, I'm adding them together. You need to make sure they're aligned nice and in order so that we can, so that you're not adding a value with another value. All right, so I'm going to do this one below, it's called new groups below, and then I'll do this one with new groups above. 5 plus 5 is 10, so there's my 0, and I'm going to put my 1 there. 4 plus 1 is 5, plus, oh wait, did I write this down right? Oh, you know what I did? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Forgot to add my extra 10. So this is why we double check our answers, isn't it? So 4 plus 1 is 5. Because this 10 here needed to be added to over here, and I forgot. All right, so 4 plus, that's why we double check it both ways. So 4 hundreds plus 6 hundreds equals 10 hundreds, so that's 0 hundreds with a regrouping of that 1,000. Whew, glad I did double checked. All right, so there's our answer for that. All right, let's see on this one. Let's not make any mistakes on this one, right? All right, so Allie has 128 photos of her pets and 255 photos of her family. How many photos does Allie have all together? All together, telling us in this case, we're putting them together, so we're adding. So 128 photos of her pets. So I'm going to draw my 100, 20, and then 8. I'm going to draw them so that I can see them all. Go ahead and put those down. Go ahead and draw them and do this with me. 128. You can pause me if you need to. All right, now I'm going to do 255. So I'm going to draw my 200s, my 50, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know why I was splitting them up that way. And then another 5 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Double check that that's 128, 255. All right, so now I'm adding them together, so I'm putting them together. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Uh-oh, that's too many. So I could make a weird little snake that went like this and left those 3. I could make something that looks a little like that. I'm going to do that. Kind of looks like a dinosaur with some eyes and some teeth going there if I made it into a drawing there. All right, so there's, and I'm going to put my arrow so I don't forget, like I did last time. Oh my goodness. So here we go. So leftovers are 1, 2, 3. Out of my proof drawing, 3 ones are left. Now I'm going to count up these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tens, 6, 7 tens, and this one, 8 tens. All right, and then I'm counting up my hundreds. 1, 2, 3, 3 hundreds. All right, let's see if we can do it. We can see if it's right. So 128 plus 255. All right, ignore my words there. All right, so this time I'm going to do new groups above, since we tried new groups below there. 8 plus 5 is 13. We're going to regroup with that one up there. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 5 is 8. 100 plus 200s is 300s. Hey, look, those two answers match. Woohoo! All right, so this is what I'm going to ask you to do. I'm going to ask you to draw me a proof drawing here. I'm going to ask you to draw me a proof drawing there. And then use, practice drawing new groups above and the new groups below. Give those a try. So you're going to continue with these 2 problems, and then the Google slide has another 2 problems on the second slide that you can use either some scratch paper if you want to use that, or just whatever method you prefer is fine. But we're just trying them all out. So I would like you to draw some proof drawings just to practice. Okay, so you're finishing number 3 and 4 on page 230. And then the other 2 problems are not in your workbook. You are going to finish those. You can do that on another piece of paper if you'd like, but the answers go on Google slide number 2. Remember to go back to the other tab and hit turn in. Don't share the Google slides with me, because then I have a harder time grading them. All right, friends, hope you have a great day.